Well, this isn't written in crayon. This is the appellate transcripts in the Darlie Routier case. This certainly isn't written in crayon. This is how they handled the transcripts in this case. This is how they handled it. There were no missing exhibits. There may have been inaccurate words. Ensure that the reporter's record is made to conform to what occurred at trial, which it does. Everything that's in the Simmons transcripts reflects what occurred at trial. Three certified court reporters. Three certified court reporters that had nothing to do with Darlie's case looked it over with the corresponding computer-generated translation edit disc to determine whether the original record could be certified. Three certified court reporters looked it over. She did lie. There's no doubt about that. There were ultimately multiple hearings resulting from efforts to correct the reporter's record. Three expert court reporters recommended they be reviewed by another court reporter. 4 people. She did get fired for that. And she should have been. Because if they didn't handle this correctly, what she did could have caused a mistrial. And Darlie would be walking free amongst us today, had they not done this the right way. We'd have a killer walking amongst us today. Halsey used the 5th. So they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different court reporters looked all the materials over. 5 of them. And that's all right because she's not a See, Darlie said that she was denied due process because she wouldn't be able to question the witnesses in this hearing. But actually, this hearing is based on Sandra Halsey's criminal intent, not Darlie's. They weren't speaking about Darlie's case per se. They were speaking about the record of Darlie's case. So Darlie doesn't need to have a witness unless she has a witness that works with Sandra Halsey and watches her do this. So if the case was, if the case, the hearing that they were talking about had anything to do with Darlie's evidence, anything in Darlie's case, that was going against Darlie, she would have had the right to call witnesses. But she didn't get the right to call witness in this hearing because the crime that they're questioning is about Halsey. You see, Halsey was afraid of that mistrial, so she lied. And that's on Halsey. It has nothing to do with the death of Devin and Damon. So really, they did have the right to question it. They just can't stand up and say they can do it in writing, and the court would approve the question. No objections. Yeah, see, this doesn't violate the Sixth Amendment and her right to counsel because she's not being held accountable for messing up the transcript. Darlie's not been accused of anything, so she doesn't need the counsel on that. The court now, her team did object to it, and I'll tell you, her team has really been kind of after the last year or so. Like, let's take when Ryan Kester wanted to get all of the evidence in the Darlie Routier case, and the judge was going to give it to him, all right, because he wanted to study up on her guilt, and the judge was actually going to grant him that. But it was Darlie's attorneys that objected to that, of Ryan Kester getting all of the information on this case. Darlie's attorneys went into court and objected to Ryan Kester getting the evidence. And you want to talk about due process? That evidence in that case is public information. Anybody should be able to file and get it. Anybody, not just Ryan Kester. The court, that you want to talk about due process? All that evidence is public information. And Darlie Routier's family slid in there and said, no, don't give it to Ryan Kester. And the courts withheld it from him. You want to talk about due process? It's funny that, if you do a FOIA on Darlie's case, you'll probably get the same result. That's what Kester did. He did a FOIA on that information, and the court was going to give it to him. Like I said, Darlie's attorneys went in and stopped that from happening. She wanted, see, they also filed a motion to suppress the unauthenticated audio tapes. She tried to stop the audio tapes from being used. The audio tapes are word for word what was said during the trial. She tried to stop that from getting to Simmons so they could fix it. They're like, nope, you messed up. You're not using the recordings. The judge denied that. They were pretty pissed off when they canceled that. There's video about what happened. Yeah, they objected to the new record. There's nothing in there that wasn't said in court. They were trying to get it off on this technicality. They were saying that she didn't get due process because this court record, even though they fixed it, it was certified by 5 different court reporters and the court. They're saying that she didn't have the chance, she wasn't getting due process because of that under Chessman versus Teets. That motion was denied because of all the experts that they brought in, not actually experts, prior mediums to the situation. All these other court reporters looked at it and they certified it.